It has happened in Vegas. The Cup's going to stay in Vegas. And for the first time, the Golden Knights are Stanley Cup champions.
It's regular season hockey, boys. It's back. 2023-24 season is underway. We've already had today's the third night, so we're recording on Thursday, and all of our teams have already played, which is why we're recording tonight, so we can talk about their first games. And Vegas is playing tonight also, but we will be able to catch that one.
Another 10:30 game for you.
Yes, we're very fortunate to have our 10:30 starts.
How much of the game did you guys watch last night?
Gifford watched the whole thing.
Oh, 2 days ago, the whole thing.
Yeah, a real fan, I see.
I stayed
Didn't
up
go
for
to
the
bed
first
till like
period.
2 o'clock in the morning.
I couldn't make it. I was like, no, it's just not. I'm not gonna be able to make it.
It depended too, because like watching the Bruins West Coast trips when I was on the East Coast, like there were some times if it's like going to the third up by a goal or two, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just go to bed.
Like, yeah, they were already up 2-0, and I was feeling like pretty good, and I was like, if they do end up losing this game, like I will not have been happier for staying up to watch it. So I'm like, yeah, either I'm pissed when I go to bed at like 2 a.m, or I go to sleep now and I know I'm gonna be fine. So that's usually the gamble that I take, and most of the time, because it's Vegas, it pays off.
For now.
Yeah, like if I was an Anaheim fan, I'd probably like just wake up every morning and be like, yep, should have expected another loss. Oh well. Good thing I'm not.
Well, we should just start getting into it since you have this huge list of topics.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to talk about the games first, or you want to talk about like the NHL news stuff?
I want to get into the game.
Yeah. So Vegas played on Tuesday, and they were the third game that night. Obviously, they had the whole banner raising ceremony. They had the gold carpet, all the Vegas showmanship, and then the game actually ended up starting at like 11:15 Eastern. So
I feel like
that was cool.
I feel like we gotta talk about that banner raising ceremony first. Pretty crazy, huh?
Oh yeah. I assume you saw it after the fact, Dean.
I didn't watch any of it. Nope.
Oh, okay.
What makes it crazy compared to any other banner raising?
I don't know. I just feel like it was so picturesque. Like all the pictures after look amazing. So it started out with Mark Stone. He pulls the lever, or actually he first skates out with the cup. He puts the cup down. Then he is right next to a slot machine. Then he pulls the lever on the slot machine.
Like a big one.
It shows three.
Not a
big,
regular
huge, massive
sized
one. Massive one. 3 Stanley Cups display on the 3 wheels, and then the banner raises. And it was just great because like all the guys were also like with their arms around each other, all facing the banner as it's going up, and the banner looks great too. Like really nice with the gold.
Yeah, it did look really good. Somebody I think on Reddit said that it was like slightly off center, which I didn't really notice, and I'm sure that might, like, if somebody goes back now and hears this and looks at it, they might be like, ugh, but I didn't really notice it even after seeing the comment, so I don't think it really matters. And yeah, I agree, it looked really cool. Plus it's like hanging up there, like the only people that are going to really be able to inspect it that close are like arena staff, because it's, you know, it's facing away from the stands, like the 300 section there, so it's like you wouldn't even be able to see it.
Yeah, and they actually already moved the banner too from where they initially raised it. So they raised it kind of closer, like right above the rink, closer to the scoreboard for the ceremony. And then that same night they lowered it, and and I'm assuming it's already back in its where it's gonna stay right next to the Western Conference champion banners.
Is that where Bruce picked it out? He said like during the cup celebration, like on ice. He's like, I had picked a spot out for it already, so I don't know if that's actually where they put it or not.
Yeah. So what he actually said is he said that he had a spot picked out in Boston for the banner, and he never got to put a banner there.
Yeah.
So he was like, I got a spot picked out here, and yeah, it's right next to where those other champion, Western Conference champion banners are.
Good spot.
The Bruins had their own opening ceremony too for the centennial season.
Yep.
No, you were probably watching that game, Brendan. So
Yeah, but I didn't get to see the ceremony because I kind of joined on late, and
I joined probably 5 minutes before the start of the game, not puck drop, but like the official start, and so I caught the end of it. And I mean, they had like all the recent retired Bruins. So I had like Jara, Bergeron, Krejci, Tim Thomas was there,
McQuaid,
Tuca, and then all the like legends. I think Bork or Neely, they were all there, and it was a nice little thing. I think there's some video ceremonies too, so it was a nice touch. And I really like the this is the first time having like the alternate jerseys on the ice, and I was a big fan. I think that solidified my choice of getting that one over the home.
Yeah, that's the one that you like more.
Yeah, and I remember I think I said
you haven't seen the home ones on ice yet.
Yeah, they had them in the preseason.
Oh yeah, in the preseason. Okay, yeah.
And the away ones. And the away ones, it's funny because I remember I think saying it on the podcast. I'm like, I'll wait until I see them on the ice because sometimes they look better. They look way worse on the ice. But the home ones look good. The alternate ones I really like though. So.
Yeah, they looked really good on ice. Yeah, I would definitely get. I'll probably end up getting both of those two that we mentioned at some point, I'd imagine, because I do really like both of them, and then I probably won't go with the away at that point. But yeah, they looked awesome. I don't know if you really checked them out much, Gifford, the 3 Centennial sets.
No, I didn't get a chance. I was about to look it up to see what those look like.
I'm sure you're actively avoiding any Boston news.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm actively avoiding, but I'm not like
going out of your
looking
way.
At and I'm not looking at the jerseys to possibly buy one. So
right, yeah. I guess really any sort of jersey news, I'm like immediately on top of it. So I don't blame somebody for not knowing something going on.
I probably wouldn't know if it
teams.
wasn't the Bruins.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how much we want to get in depth on like the actual play of our team, but I just had like a couple small notes for the Bruins. I don't know. Did you watch the whole game, Brendan? Or most of it?
No, I didn't. I watched. The stream that I was using was kind of not working. Because it wasn't on ESPN Plus, which is normally how I'm able to watch the games.
Yeah, just TNT.
So yeah, which apparently you can watch the TNT games on Max, which I actually didn't know. So I probably will use that in the future because I do have a Max subscription. I have access to a Max subscription. So
yeah, part of the one of my hat trick question yesterday about the power play. I'm like, the power play is not going to be good because Bergeron's gone and he was the bumper, and like that was my decision for saying no.
The insider knowledge, yeah, I was
we went 0 for 3, and the funny thing is our first power play unit didn't look great at all. The second power play unit looked really good. Like a lot of the young guys looked really good. Our fourth line, which is Lauko, Beecher, and Lucic, actually looked really good. I was like really excited to see them because this is Beecher's first NHL game.
Yep.
Lauko's played a few, so Beecher and Patra had their NHL debut, and they both looked great. Patra got an assist on the first goal. But yeah, I mean, I could talk plenty about the game, but we don't need to go in depth on all that. I don't know if you had anything on the Knights about other than, I mean, good win, I guess, but anything stand out to you?
I was going to say it's like power plays were kind of the same. They were the kind of the story of that game.
Both teams were 0 for 4, I think.
0 for 4. No one could score on the power play, but I think the biggest piece is that Vegas kills a 5-minute major in the first game of the season. So I think that's a big win for the penalty kill.
What was the penalty? Like anything like suspension worthy, or just kind of?
Yep, it's Brett Howden actually got is serving a 2-game suspension. It was a shoulder to the head.
Oh. I'm surprised I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, no, that was the DOPS looked at that, and then there was also like a $5,000 fine against Dano, I think, for the LA game.
League maximum or whatever.
Yeah, a maximum allowable under the CBA. So
Yes.
yeah, hopefully the next collective bargaining agreement has something a little bit more robust as far as punishments like that. Maybe if it's like a percentage of the salary or something would be really good. But anyways, so yeah, that. Howden did get the 2 games, which it's funny. The hockey guy was talking about that in his like a video today, and he was like, yeah, so he's got the 2 game suspension, but they're playing San Jose and Anaheim, so it's like
Yeah.
technically, yeah, he's serving the 2 games, but I don't think they're gonna be missing Howden a whole lot
Right.
for those contests. So we lucked out there, but yeah, you can't be hitting people in the head.
Nope.
I mean, the Bruins game, there were a couple. Well, there was the scary point where Bedard got hurt. Like, he was on like a breakaway, and Lindholm went down to kind of block between like the net and keep him from cutting in. And Lindholm's stick got caught in Bedard's skate. He went like hard into the board and came up holding his shoulder, and like everyone probably held their breath. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, even if you're not a Blackhawks fan, you don't want like this young generational talent to start the season with an injury, but he ended up being okay. And then there was a hit on Taylor Hall at I think in the first or start of the second period, and then out for the game. So
yeah. Luke
couple
Richardson
couple
said
of
that
things like that.
Hall's week to week,
Oof.
so yeah, that's obviously no good, and that's definitely not gonna help Bedard. Although I think he sort of has been helping himself for a long time, starting with like in Regina and probably now with Chicago too. Like he's gonna have to sort of make his own destiny that way. So luckily he didn't get hurt. I guess I saw that the Blackhawks Penguins game was the most viewed regular season game of all time.
Wow.
So yeah, a lot of eyes on this season, and that really speaks to I think it's weird to say, but I think the NHL is sort of doing a good job with like marketing at least him.
For
Uh,
once, yeah,
yeah,
like
like that's why it's very weird to talk about, but like I don't know, I think there are more eyes on the NHL than like ever before. That's how it feels, at least based on like social media and apparently view counts and stuff. So
I mean
Yeah, and
McDavid coming into the league was like 2015, so I mean I don't remember as well, but even at the time it didn't feel like it was as big of a deal.
hmm.
and I also think it's just like it was perfect because they're also playing Pittsburgh. Carlson's getting his first start in Pittsburgh. Sidney Crosby is always a
Oh
draw.
yeah,
Um, so
definitely
I think
multiple
that was
variables.
perfect, and that's why it worked out that they were playing off of the Bedard being the rookie versus Crosby being the veteran, and
Oh yeah,
them facing off.
Whole
yeah. They
passing of the torch.
they pretty
Yep.
much curated that with when they made the schedule. They're like, yeah, we're gonna get a lot of people to watch this game. So good on the schedule makers for concocting the perfect game. Although it wasn't the first game of the year, it was the second game. I don't know how many people watched the Tampa Nashville game. I watched it just because I wanted to see some hockey, but it wasn't a very good game really. Well, until like the third period, then it actually did get pretty good. But like the first 2 periods were pretty sloppy and not
I
very
mean,
interesting if you're
it
not a
was
fan.
honestly probably a better game because Vasilevsky was out. Like otherwise, it probably wouldn't have even been close.
Yeah, yeah, and actually, like in the first period, I guess we'll talk about this game, but Nashville only had like 2 shots on goal, so it's like the the guys in the booth were saying, we wanted to talk about like, oh, how is Johansson doing in net? And it's like we can't, we gotta wait like longer
Yeah.
because he didn't get tested at all. So that was one of the other storylines going into that game, but. Um, we got more teams in action for the first time tonight.
Which, as I'm already noticing, the Buffalo's already down 2-0 against the Rangers.
Oof.
Oh, great.
That's not great.
Little live score update, even though it won't be live by the time you guys watch this video. You're like, duh. We all knew that.
Yeah. Buffalo came back and won the game 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got to get ahead of the times here.
Flyers are up 2-1. Yeah.
Yeah, I should probably, now that we're in season, get in the habit of just having a tab open with the scores if games are going on while we're recording, which I'm sure is going to happen.
And
we're trying
Lafreniere
to.
scored, so that's good because obviously always talk about him and being a bust and all that. And I mean, I'm hoping, always rooting
Especially
for
with the new
those guys.
contract.
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of the time. So, if it doesn't work out for a year or two or something, maybe that's kind of the end of the saga for the most part for him. As far as like, where he fits in the bust, boom sort of category. I mean, a lot of pressure. So.
Right. It probably bugs him too, seeing people like Bedard come in, and I mean, they're not really comparable, but just like a first overall pick, and he has no issue acclimating, and then like there'll probably be comparisons made, so maybe that'll help light a fire for him, and
Yep.
we'll see.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he expects more from himself too. Like,
Yeah.
he understands like the position that he was put in when he got drafted first overall, and what that brings, and especially with a big market, original six team, like that matters a lot too. So hopefully he does well. You kind of always want to see those young guys take another step and prove what they can do in the league, and so we've seen that with a couple other players recently, and hopefully that trends upward for him. Not that I'm a Rangers fan, but
Who would be?
Yeah, nobody here. We haven't had any Rangers fans on either, right? There are a couple like people from high school I know that are Rangers fans, but I don't know like how seriously they follow the league, so I haven't really reached out.
And I think I see a New York Giants helmet behind Gifford.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm Giants, but not Rangers. But I feel like if I were to be in New York, it'd probably be well, I don't know. I guess I could go with Buffalo. But like of the two New York teams, I guess I'd prefer the Rangers.
Yeah, I'm probably in the same boat. But maybe that's just kind of after seeing Buffalo's lack of success compared to the Rangers in the last decade or so.
Yeah.
As I was a fan of
That is true.
Lundqvist, so how can you not root for that guy?
That's a tough question. He's awesome, and I think he's done really well. In the studio, like I think a lot of people that have been watching have said that he's been a really good analyst. He speaks really well and breaks it down in a way that's simple for people listening. So,
Do you watch the intermission shows?
sometimes, like, it depends on what sort of stream I'm watching. Like if I think if it's the regular like ESPN broadcast, they usually have it on.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just don't really pay attention to them, like just sit on your phone or whatever, because it's like I can sort of I try to draw my own conclusions, so,
Right.
to a certain degree. But it's fun to look at the highlights, or sometimes they'll talk about other stuff going on in the league and whatever. So
I definitely like to hear the vets' perspectives on like what a guy might be going through based off their own experiences.
Oh yeah.
So like when Lundqvist is like talking about if a goalie's having a rough time, like what that was like for him, or just like Gretzky's experience. I feel like there's a lot that you can learn from that. I thought it was funny. PK and I'm blanking on who the other person was on the ESPN desk. They both have Vegas actually as back-to-back Cup winners in their predictions.
What the heck is this? Yeah,
Is it
Messier?
Oh.
Yeah, Messier. Yep, Messier.
Biz is TNT, I guess.
Yeah, Biz is TNT.
Yeah, this was ESPN, so it's Levy and then the two.
Levy's not bad. I don't mind him. I think he's good for football too. I think you're not a football, or you don't like him for football though, right?
No, I'm not a bit like. I think he's fine at the desk. I'm not a huge fan of his play-by-play work.
Okay. Yeah, I guess let's just. I mean, unless you have anything else that you want to talk about as far as the game, both our teams won, so all three of us are happy with that, and
No one's making overreactions from 60 minutes of hockey. So,
yeah. Uh,
but if the Bruins had lost to the Blackhawks, we'd be
oh yeah, that would have been a good
firing
game.
everyone.
Yeah, fire everybody. Fire and brimstone.
Yeah, I feel like the other thing that we didn't necessarily talk about is how it's like it's an opening game. It's against the Kraken. It doesn't feel like it should mean that much, but because of the cup raising ceremony, I feel like that adds so much pressure to the game that you feel like you have to win on a night like that. Like on the guy like has a career night. You want to win. You want to win if something like that happens. So I feel like we saw a lot, like we saw them struggle in the beginning, just to kind of get comfortable in the game, because it's like you got to get back into the mindset. We're playing hockey. We're beyond last season. So that was interesting to see. But yeah, definitely happy that they won, so that we don't have to say they lost when they raised the banner.
Yeah, and they get the pass the cup point. So
True.
That was your point, right? Because you drafted Vegas.
Yes, I mean
You're in the
I
league.
wasn't.
You're in the league.
I wasn't in. I wasn't intentionally, I think, trying to target Vegas, but I feel like in my pick, I feel like I had to go for them.
Yeah.
You gotta take the opportunity for I say guaranteed points, because like they should beat the Kraken, they should beat the Sharks, they should beat the Ducks. So hopefully we at least get 3 points out of that.
And nobody
we'll see how it
drafted
goes.
San Jose, right? So if
No.
they do win, I guess that point is just lost to the void, or
Yeah, and you can't pick them up until Sunday
yeah,
or Monday.
right. So
So I'm curious. Did you guys have any strategy going in whatsoever, or is it just kind of like on a whim? I'm going for this team.
it's kind of useless for me to strategize because I know Dean's gonna win. So I just, go into it with the brain only and hope that can, get me enough to make it respectable.
If I had known we were gonna have the cup winner be 20% or
Oh
whatever, I
yeah,
might have changed my strategy a little.
I
'Cause
figured.
didn't.
I mean, I figured you would assume that we were gonna do that again because we did it last year.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
No, did we? I don't think so.
I think we did.
'Cause the first year we didn't. Owen got all the money. I think last year I got all the money.
Yeah, I did. But you had Vegas on your team.
Oh. Okay. Well, the first year we didn't do it, and that's Owen also had the winner on his team.
I think he have Colorado? Oh, no.
Yeah, so I don't think we've ever done that.
I
Unless
feel
maybe
like
we discussed it last year
Justin
and I
had
just forget
Colorado.
because
I feel like it will be a good addition, though. I think it adds.
yeah, that's fine.
I think. I mean,
adds a little bit.
I think we did end up agreeing on it, and it just happened that you had already picked Vegas, so it was like.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I believe you.
Anyway, so that's what
Do
we're
we want to
doing.
explain what we're talking about?
I know. I was just thinking, like, some people are probably like, "What the hell are they saying?" So we've adopted. I don't remember. I know Justin was the one who like initially brought it up to the group chat. How
From
ironic is
32
that?
thoughts.
32 thoughts. Okay, yeah. So the concept is.
At the time, 31 thoughts.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That can tell you how long Justin's been out of the hat trick pass the cup game because he hasn't been participating for a little bit. But anyways, so the pass the cup is basically you start with you pick however many players you have, and then you do a snake draft of teams, and the goal is to pick draft a team that has that ends up getting the most cup points. So how do you earn a cup point? Well, the team that starts with a cup at the beginning of the season is the champion from last year. So that's why we're talking about Vegas, because Vegas currently has the cup right now since they were the last teams to have it. And then whenever Vegas loses, whoever they lose to will then have the cup, and then it sort of passes that way. So you have it for however long you're winning for, and then once you lose, that team has it, and so ideally you're trying to pick teams that you realistically think can string together a long win streak, and obviously there's a certain amount of luck involved because you never know how it's going to shake out. Like, you could try to plan it out in advance, but that's a slippery slope. As soon as you make one wrong prediction, the whole chain is broken. So it would be very, very tough to realistically strategize that way to maximize your points.
So
go ahead.
My unofficial prediction, which is, I looked at the schedules beforehand just because I was kind of curious. My unofficial prediction is that Vegas is going to win the first 3 games with the Cup. They're going to lose to Dallas. Then I think Dallas carries the Cup for, I think a couple nights. And then they lose to Toronto. So, I had in my mind, I'm not necessarily going to target these teams, but let's just know that this is my unofficial prediction in case this team falls to me. And I did happen to get Vegas and Dallas. So if Vegas can string together the first 3 weeks or 3 games, then I'm guaranteed 4 because I have Dallas and Vegas, right? And then from there, who knows? But that's my unofficial prediction, so that I guess we'll say it's an official prediction, so that I can take credit. So if I can take credit for it, if it ends up coming true, then we got this on film.
There you go. Yeah, it's only official if it happens, and then not. It's unofficial. He doesn't really know what he's talking about, and
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I called last week on the podcast. I said Bedard's gonna score his first against the Bruins. I know it. That's just the Bruins way. It's without a doubt in my mind, it's gonna happen. But I didn't put money on it. So oh well.
I think I watched the episode, and I think you said that you were gonna put money on it. So
did I? Oh well.
Yeah. So you should. You should have. You gotta.
No, I don't really bet anyway. Except in the playoffs, I'll bet. I have this really dumb, superstitious strategy that doesn't really work, but it's leveraging my happiness where so game 1 of the playoffs, I will bet the minimum you can bet is 10 cents. So I'll bet 10 cents against the Bruins. And if they win, that means the bet was lucky, so I'll bet 10 cents again. And just keep doing that. If they go 16-0, I'll just bet 10 cents and lose 10 cents. This is betting against the Bruins, so I'll lose 10 cents every game.
It was $1.60. The cost of the cup is $1.60.
But if they lose game 1, then I have to up the ante, so I raise it to $1.
Oh.
All I was going to say is that the second that you said feelings and betting off of your feelings, you lost every NHL sharp on the planet.
Well, it's not that I'm betting off of my gut feeling of who's going to win. I'm betting so that if the Bruins lose, I still make money and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's sort of, valuing, if I lose, at least I get money, and if they win, then I win. I don't really care if, I lost 10 cents or whatever it was.
So, he's hedging his feelings with bets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I
think it is right.
With the pick'em sometimes, too.
I think I did have it right. So, yeah, I bet 10 cents, and then they win. So, I mean, it worked. But then when they lose, then I'm like, all right, so let me go to $1. And then if they lose again, I go to $10. And then if they lose again, I go to $100.
So you're betting $100 on Game 7. So either they
so if they lose Game 7, at least I made. Yeah, if they win, I lost $100. I'm like, whatever. The Bruins are moving on.
Yeah.
And then if the Bruins lose, I'm like, well, at least I made some money out of it. Game 7 for Florida, I think I put more than 100 because I'm like, if they somehow blow this, I think I made
how much money did you make on that game?
Well, so also the Bruins were still the favorite, so it was a higher than 1-1 odds.
Yeah.
So I think I made $300 or something. But that still didn't. The balance wasn't right. I should bet more money.
I was gonna say that was a tough one to swallow.
Oh no, because it was only round 1. It's like, is it worth losing $1,000 for the Bruins to go on to the second round?
No,
no. But Game 7 of the finals, sure. But yeah.
That is a slippery slope, though.
Like, I will pay this money for the Bruins to win.
He's like donating that money in hopes that the Bruins win.
Donating it to the hockey gods. Yeah, exactly.
Please, hockey gods. Please.
Take
One
my
more
money.
gift for Dean. He needs it.
Yeah.
He needs it. He only wins hat tricks, every year.
It only gets me a new Bruins item.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
One more Bruins item he can sacrifice to the hockey gods.
Have we talked about the hat trick challenge on the podcast? I can't remember. I feel like
I don't
maybe
think
we
so.
did. Yeah, so we're doing that again this year, and Gifford has been brought in. Today was actually his day, so he created his first hat trick questions.
Oh no, we did talk about this at one point. I remember talking about you explaining the origins, but you can give an update.
With Weeksy.
Yes.
Yeah, basically the premise is it keeps getting older and older every year, but I don't remember the last time. I think it was probably still in school, so I want to say like 4 years ago was when the app actually still worked, but they create the NHL or whoever it was, PR or something, created three questions per day for the games that were going on. And if you got all the 3 questions right, and they're 2 choice questions, they're not open ended. So if you get all 3, you get a hat trick, and you get like a point added to the leaderboard, and then you're competing against like we had a league of the 4 guys in our apartment, competing against each other, and then there's a global leaderboard where you could win prizes, and then Kevin Weeks did his own picks every year, and he was pretty good. So we've since adopted that because the NHL doesn't do it anymore. We've decided we're just going to carry on the torch. So we've been creating our own questions every day and rotating through who makes them, and keeping track of it ourselves. So along with the Pass the Cup, we do that.
2 things. One, we weren't in school 4 years ago. We're older than that. That's gross. You said 4 years ago. And 2,
Yeah, we were. I was.
2023.
2019.
It's over. It's over 4, but not by.
Well,
like,
okay, yeah, same year.
But
you
actually,
were in fall semester, weren't you?
I was in school.
Yeah, you were in school. I wasn't. So yeah.
But anyway, the other thing I was going to say is, I don't know how many people watch this podcast that aren't either already doing the hat trick challenge with us or people directly, but you could put them on the Bread Loves Hockey Twitter every day.
I was thinking about doing that actually. I very seriously
bring it back to the people,
putting it on, and then having people put their replies. I'm not going to keep track of it. You can do it yourself, but I think I will do that. So unfortunately, we have a couple of days of data lost, but no biggie. But yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
You can start it, see if there's any interest, and then maybe do a competition in the playoffs or something.
That could be good. And maybe we'll be able to do a giveaway of some sort by then.
There you go. I also still think we should open a phone line and see if anyone calls in.
Yeah, I don't even know really how you would go about doing that, but I'm open to it.
You can just set up a Google Voice number, like it's a different phone number, and then people will call it and no one will answer, and then they'll leave a voicemail.
See me after the podcast.
What if we have like one devoted fan out there that we don't, that's like not someone we know, and they're like, I'd love to call in.
There was somebody who commented on a video because they saw my jersey collection video, and they were like, yeah, I found you through here, and I watched your episode, and it was awesome. And I was like, sweet. So if you're still
watching, shout out to you if you're watching.
Thank you. I'm sorry that I don't remember your username. I really should, considering you're the only.
Wait,
person.
You gotta give him a shout out. I'm gonna find it so we can.
Yeah, we'll give you a shout out. We can put it in post, or Dean will tell us in a moment. But so that's the hat trick challenge, and Dean is already leading the way. He got one last night, and I think he's still on track. Well, I think everybody's on track right now for tonight still.
You've been at 20 subscribers for a while. You gotta get on that.
I know we've plateaued a bit.
You need to make more TikToks.
Not that I watch every day. Yeah, I've got a couple. I've got 2 up right now, And I have an idea for another one, but I think I need to have some editing done. So, thanks, Dean.
So advance notice, you have more work to do.
I don't see any comments
I might be
on the
able to
last
do it.
2 videos.
It was like
2 weeks ago.
it was like the
Episode.
let me see. Actually, it's probably in my notifications if I look.
I don't think it was on the. It might not have been on the Jersey
It was
one.
on like the
definitely
third or
read
fourth episode or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I say Owen commented on his
Yeah,
latest.
Owen has
episode.
commented. You've commented, I believe.
I commented on the TikTok with Owen.
1 month ago.
Me and Zane
Maybe they
commented.
deleted it.
What?
Like screw
Well,
this.
then you don't get a shout out.
Yeah, I might be able to find it if I just go through all my uploads.
If you click one at a time through all.
Someone on your
videos.
first episode said promo SM, whatever that means.
I don't even know what that.
Some bot trying to
Well,
advertise.
Actually, when did I upload the collection video? Because that will help me narrow it down.
I've almost gone through every episode. I don't see.
I guess we're really dedicating this time.
we can decide if we want to edit
Maybe
it.
he put it on the.
Hey, I found it. I found it.
Fred Loves
It was
Hockey.
the
Oh,
one where we didn't
episode
have any
one.
video.
This is
Episode
a bit of a
6.
different video. It's not a pod. Episode 6.
Brandon Wolack or Wallach. Shout out to you.
Even though your name's Brandon, I hate the name Brandon. They ruin it for all the Brendans
Oh.
out there. Everybody
Oh.
thinks Brandon is the right name, and it's not. It's Brendan is the good one. You make people spell it with an O for no reason, but we like you anyways because you watch the show. So thanks if you're still tuning in regularly or not. You made a difference.
I feel like it's time to talk about the NHL app. I
Ooh.
feel like we all gotta
The
get
energy's
out some
good.
complaining. You know, you gotta.
I have one other positive I've found, and we'll start with on a positive note.
All right.
I haven't found before the highlights there was always an ad and it sucked. Just tapping the goal scorer now, it brings up the video right away. I've not had an ad yet. Maybe they forgot to add them, which I wouldn't put past.
That sounds likely.
Maybe it's just an oversight, but that is way smoother. Everything else sucks, but
that's
that
good.
I'll give them props for if it stays the same. All right, go ahead, rip it apart.
Well, I was gonna say the only positive I had, which I didn't know what you mentioned, was the fact that they actually show I don't think they showed the odds for the
Yeah,
game.
that
the
was
odds
the other
are
thing that
before.
Dean mentioned.
So now I think it's like in the schedule for the day you can flip between either the odds or their current records.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of neat, but everything else I only have negatives.
And the records are not accurate because literally, I'm pretty sure you could still look right now. It has Vegas with a record of 0-0-0 when they've already played a game and won. So and it had Seattle at 0-1-0. So
The last 10 games that it has, for me at least, like just their last 10 game record, which again, that would still be wrong.
it's still wrong. Yeah. So
oh yeah, the last 10.
and I don't know why you would want the last 10. Like why wouldn't you just want the full? Well, I guess you could look at the standings.
That last 10 helps, especially if you're trying to if you're gonna
for
bet
betting.
anyway,
Yeah.
because you just want to see how
But I don't care
even
about that.
no, but even if the hat trick challenge, you want to know a team's record, you want to know how they've been doing. Like
Yeah. That's true.
if someone's question is which team's gonna win, I base it off their last 10 games more than their record.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I would rather just keep the full record on the standings and then use that for the most recent performance. So I guess that's an improvement if it works, which it's not working right now. It's not
You're
working.
Well, no, so it has both there because it has the record on under the name, then to the right is the last 10. So it does have both.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
But then
still fine.
On game day, the last 10 changes to odds, which is fine.
But yeah, they did update it because I see it has 1-0-0 now. So I
go.
think that was probably my doing. We are live streaming directly to the NHL executives. So we thank you.
Don't tell them that they forgot about ads on the videos.
Yeah, I hope they were not listening to that part. But
Yeah, I'm going through all of them right now, and it's fantastic.
that's good. But it doesn't. So yeah, first of all they changed it so it's right to left.
During the game, and then it switches back after the game.
We're referring to how they display the goal scorers, and they also the preview window only shows the goal scorer. It doesn't show the assists, which is
So
just
frustrating.
such a downgrade. And if obviously for us, like, we're gonna focus a lot on assists and points and things for hat trick questions, so it just makes it that much more difficult for us to navigate through that. There's no toggle for the dark mode. On or off is just whatever system preferences. Gifford had brought that up because his phone's on light mode, but he wanted dark mode, right? Or the other way around.
Yeah.
Why do you want one app on dark mode though?
No, so I like my phone's UI for light mode, but I like most of my apps in dark mode. So I like to have to not go off of what my phone is doing, but individually select via like by which apps I want it to be dark. So it was like that was available in the old NHL app. So it's just like something they got rid of. It was just like, I mean, it's not a big deal to me, but like I always liked having that nice little Vegas icon to click every single time that I went into the NHL app because you could customize it to your team.
The widgets, yeah.
That they got rid of. But the thing I think is the biggest for me is the schedule. The schedule you used to be able to see in the calendar format. It was so nice to be able to just quickly look and be like, okay, that's a Tuesday, a Thursday, Saturday game, and you can see how the games work out over the course of a month.
No, it's such a mistake.
And it's like,
oh no. Yeah. You ruined this for me. I haven't even gotten to here yet.
It's a mistake, and
now it's
just awful.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it's just like now you can only see. Well, now you can only see just like 1 week's games at a time or something like that. It's just like when I was trying to plan what games I was thinking about going to, it was so nice to look at the calendar, see like what days it landed on. It was perfect. And now it's gone, and now I can only reminisce with the screenshots I have from the schedule for this season to figure out what games I was trying to go to.
Yeah, it's just not up to the like the level that it was already at. People already didn't like the app, but it was usable. Like the current app, it's so much more bloated. Like even just opening it up, it'll usually have like a little pop-up at the bottom of the screen that's like just some article or something. And in order to navigate through the app, which is at the bottom, like the UI's at the bottom, you have to swipe it down, which it doesn't even necessarily like indicate that to you, like as far as how to get rid of it. It's just they took away so many necessary, it seems like, features, and then just like bloated it all up and just it's just a really, really unfortunate change, and it doesn't seem like they're gonna do any sort of fix because they've already committed to the full redesign. So
you can still patch a lot of the issues though.
I would hope that they do, and that in 3 or 4 months we're like not even worried about it anymore. But it's not a good sign that nothing has changed like since it's been released. I don't think, unless there's been like another update with like minor things. But
and then yesterday I went to try to see the power plays because before you would go into like the score on the game and then it would have like the breakdown with like the graphic bars, which they still have. Oh no, okay, that's still here under summary. And the other thing that I think is new, or I haven't seen it before, is under box score. If you go to game reports, they have like the game summary and the roster reports, which bring you to like the NHL website, but it's like the official ones, which is kind of cool. Because I don't remember seeing that on the app before.
I had seen that before.
Okay.
Yeah, that was there, but I've had it where, like, just previewing to the next day, like it doesn't give you information, like it won't load or it'll just say it's not available and stuff. There's just like a lot of things about it that are not nearly as good.
And do you remember on the old app when they added that the game time bar where it had like if one team had a lot of shots, it would like go towards their side, and then like it was like one of the newer features on the old app that they added last year.
I don't think I really looked.
So you talking about like the live like prediction? So it's like saying like who's projected to win the game.
No, it's more just
like tracking activity in the game.
They saw like chances and stuff, like pressure.
No.
It's called like game something, but it's funny because I was like the most
Like
recent thing they
center.
added, and then they just seem to have scrapped it already.
Yeah, the other thing I miss, which we'll see what happens, is if you go to standings too, it's just like very simple. They don't even have like many metrics in the standings. Now it's just like record and their points. They
Oh
used to
yeah,
have they used to have like the home and the away record. They used to have like
yeah.
number
What
of
is this?
OT games, number of shootouts. And like even if you turn your phone sideways, they still don't like display all the extra things that they used to show. And I used to like to see that because like sometimes you'd
Yeah,
see they had you'd be able to understand a team better by like how they play at home versus how they play away,
you can
or
click.
like
They do have at the bottom of the page is click or view full schedule, which just sends you to the NHL website. Um, play it. Yeah, so like
oh yeah, and
it
now
has some
yep, and
stuff
now
at the
you get the whole
bottom.
thing.
But yeah, even like the legend, I don't think is accurate because it's referring to the previous legend. I think.
No, but
Oh no,
yeah, it does send you to the NHL app, which does have the full. Maybe they'll change it, but yeah,
like it should have the tiebreakers like listed and things like that. Like yeah,
exactly.
it's just not good. I mean, they're just
Yeah,
taking away features for no reason. They
yeah, because
haven't
the other
added
thing,
anything legitimate.
yeah, the one thing I like to see is you can see, you can't see an overtime win in the record. You can only see an overtime loss. So it's good to have the understanding of like, well, how many overtime games have they been in, or how many of those were wins? Because
Right.
like some teams really thrive on winning overtime games, um, or just like shootouts is also because again that's not in the record. So to see that like they had so many overtime losses, but how many of those were in in a shootout situation.
It's just a damn shame. That's all. That's
Yeah.
all I'll say on it at this point, because we should
So
probably not harp on it for the whole episode. But yeah,
so there's our 1-star review.
hopefully things are going to be improved here.
Hopefully.
Let's talk about something fun. We got anything? Oh, how
Are you
about the?
guys attending any? Oh, I was going to say, you guys attending any
I
games
know
this
where you're
year?
gonna go.
Yeah.
We're
I think Dean knows what I was just gonna joke about, but I didn't want to have to actually bring it up yet. But go ahead, Gifford.
no,
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, you guys planning on attending any games this year, or whether you've bought tickets yet, or you're thinking about possibly going.
Well, I've tried to get the group to go, and no one seems to want to go see live hockey with me.
You're not talking about me, certainly.
Everyone.
It's everybody else that's the problem. You know I gotta see some hockey this year. I haven't
Yeah.
bought any tickets yet. I think my work did send me like some, like they usually do deals on a couple games a year, and they had a couple games. I think a Devils game and maybe a Rangers game too. So I think I've gone to 3 Devils games just because of that, and they're close, sort of. So I might do something like that, and then I'm hoping to hit a couple new arenas this year. We'll see if that happens, but I would like to cross a couple more off the list. I've already talked about going to see Ovi and Capital One, so that might still happen, but nothing official yet.
I still want to do the Seattle Calgary trip,
Or Calgary, Edmonton.
or what's the
Those are the two Alberta. Unless you're talking about Seattle,
well,
Vancouver.
that's Seattle, Vancouver, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, geography and all.
Yeah,
Well,
that.
and Calgary, Edmonton, that too, but probably wait for Owen on that one.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if it's in the cards for him this year
No, I
to do
don't
a
think
trip or not.
so.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm definitely down to do one. Maybe we can do the Toronto Detroit one this year.
that might be feasible because I could actually drive to that one. I mean, I'm sure Gifford, we would love to have you come if we could pencil you in.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, you gotta let me know the date. I mean, date. I'm not sure when that is, but
Dean
that's
will be
definitely a
looking at
possibility.
some possibilities right now while we talk about your plans
Well,
for
I already found
the
it
season.
earlier, and I had the dates probably in the text because they were
Yeah, it's
when the
probably pretty
Bruins
far
were
back.
visiting Toronto. I think is when I wanted to go, but yeah, go
Oh God, that's gonna be
continue. I'll do some research.
those tickets are gonna be so expensive though.
Oh boy, though, but what a game!
Yeah, well, hopefully it would be a good game. Gifford, so do you have any Vegas games or any games in general set yet?
Yeah, so we're gonna try to hit Vegas on the East Coast again. So
Sure.
we're looking at the 22nd and the 23rd of January, back to back nights. They're at in Jersey, and then they're against the Islanders again. And the Islanders is easy because Mal's uh, sister's boyfriend went to UAlbany, so he gets these really cheap tickets, student tickets,
Oh,
lower
nice.
bowl, and it's like they're like $50, like lower bowl,
Really?
$60 or something like that for UBS.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
so we've gone there. We went there last year. That was we did the Islanders Rangers back to back nights. So now we're gonna try Islanders Devils because I definitely want to get to a new arena this year. And then I felt like like this is the year to go see um, the Devils. So I feel like
Definitely.
Devils Knights should definitely be like a really good game.
Although probably last year would be the better year to see them because the tickets probably were cheaper like at the start of the season because they didn't know how
True.
good New Jersey was going to be and now everybody knows. But I think like I saw some graphic maybe last week about like the average opening day ticket prices for all the 32 teams, like opening home game tickets, and New Jersey was still like a bit like lower on the list, which was good to see, even though like they have the expectations there. So we'll see how things change as the season goes on. But I think the lowest was Florida. Somebody saw there was a $16 ticket, which ended up being like a
Wow.
bit of an outlier. I think like 35 was like more of like the minimum, but yeah, definitely not at the level at Vegas, which was like 200 something. Obviously, they were lifting the banner, so Toronto I think
Yep.
was also around like 180 or something like that, and there were a couple other big name teams up top. But yeah,
Yeah, and
that's definitely a
the other
factor.
thing that the other thing that always works out, especially if we do this trip again, is that with getting those cheap tickets for the one game, you're always more willing to splurge a little bit more on the other.
Splurge,
So
yeah,
like last year, getting those cheap tickets was nice because you pay through the nose for like
MSG,
anything in MSG.
yep.
So like I'm assuming the Devils tickets can't be worse than that.
No, no, and yeah, I actually really like the Prudential Center. Obviously, I'm biased because I've been there the most times, out of any of the other arenas, but I've really enjoyed it there. It's a nice arena, and there aren't bad seats, and I got to go on the ice too. I don't know if I've talked about that before, but Justin and
No,
I
no,
went
you
to a
have. I
game,
don't.
and and yeah, after the game we got to go onto the ice, and we took like a group photo, and it was pretty cool just like be out there and look up and there's the jumbotron. It's like holy crap. I could probably give Dean the photo and we can throw it up. But it was pretty cool. But that was part of like my like how I got them through my work. So that's not like a normal fan experience. But there were a bunch of different groups there that were all taking pictures. Like it took probably like 45 minutes after the game had ended to actually get on there because there were so many groups that were all trying to get together. So they must do that a lot.
All right, our trip is planned.
Oh, perfect.
We're
Set
going
sail.
to Toronto December 30th to see them play the Hurricanes, and then going to Detroit on New Year's Eve to watch them play the Bruins. Cancel all your New Year's Eve plans.
Well, actually, I am going to a New Year's Eve Bills game, so that one's out.
Well, because so the Bruins play Toronto a couple times. They play December 2nd, which is a Saturday, but there's no like Detroit games.
Around it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, there's the same day, and then the
Oh,
next one's the 5th.
Same day.
So
We could make that. You could make that work maybe if one was a matinee and one was like 7 o'clock or something.
yeah, sadly they are both at 7 p.m.
Oh, that
Um,
that might be a little bit trickier then.
and then the other game for the Bruins in Toronto is March 4th, which is a Monday. And
Well, I mean, the tickets will be cheaper.
true, and
And
then
I'm sure
in
I could get
Detroit
off
though,
work.
they don't have a game. They have a game the 2nd and the 6th, so there's not like it's a 2-day gap on either side.
Oh,
So I don't know. I'll have to look, but
Yeah, this Devils Islanders is a Monday Tuesday, so that's at least 2 days off of work.
yeah, I probably wouldn't take any. I already have taken off a bunch of time for this year, so I probably wouldn't do this till 2024 anyway. That's when there's good hockey anyway.
Yeah, I definitely want to. Well, I actually haven't been to Canada before, so I feel like
Training?
that's part of it. It's just like just like getting to Canada would be kind of cool, but then like seeing a game in Canada would also be nice.
do you have a passport or like enhanced license?
Yeah, I have an enhanced license,
okay,
but I'm
that's good.
also planning on getting a passport anyway, just because we're thinking about possibly leaving the country. Not for good.
Defecting.
Yeah, that's
No,
me.
that's definitely good. Yeah. So good on that. I'm sure we'll get something planned. Because yeah, I definitely need to see some more in game action live. It's always fun, and the atmosphere is always good. Even if you come out with a loss, which I usually do, I often still have a pretty good time. So if you've never been to a game and you live in an area where it makes sense, I would definitely check one out because it's awesome.
Well, I'll do
Dean, have
some
you
research now that I know that we have at least someone interested.
Dean, do you have a record for Boston viewing
Not off the
Boston?
top of my head, I'm probably around 500.
Uh-huh. How many
So
games do you think you've seen?
like only 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
I'm 1-0 in the playoffs though, so
That's the most important one.
Yeah.
I know you at least saw one win because you saw them when we went to see them
hmm
play in Boston against Vegas. So
I think it
naturally,
was
that one was a loss for me.
2016 Christmas break. I went and saw them play the Islanders, and there was like one of the bloopers that I've seen a bunch is Marchand going behind the net, running into Tuukka Rask, and they both fall over, and the puck just sits there, and then someone grabs it and scores. So I was at
Mm.
that game, and they did not win. Pretty sure Andrew Lee had like a hat trick or something.
Anders Lee.
He always does well against us. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, probably around 500. So we'll take it.
We gotta bump
Yeah, I
those
mean you
numbers.
can't.
Well, if you count teams I've been rooting for, I mean, I rooted for the Coyotes and they won against your Golden Knights. But I don't know, that kind of offsets because I don't know if that's me being lucky or you being unlucky.
You're talking to the
And then I
master,
and I
okay?
and I rooted for the Avs.
You were rooting for. Well, you were wearing a Vegas jersey though.
Oh yeah, I don't know who I was rooting for.
You were probably still happy to see Vegas lose at the end of the day because it meant that I was upset.
Probably that's true. That's true.
Still a fun trip though. Still a fun trip.
hmm Did USA win in the exhibition that we went to?
I think Canada won because I think we were rooting for USA. I don't.
Oh, obviously.
Well, I mean, we were in Canada, but yeah, no, I think they lost.
I mean,
Maybe it was
again,
like
it's an
2-1 or
exhibition
something.
game,
It was a
so
preseason. Yeah. I probably will not end up finding that score. Sometimes I like go back and like do a
yeah,
little
you can find.
forensics to
That wouldn't
find
be
the
that
game
hard.
scores. But well, what year was that? Like 2016?
You can find the pictures. Probably 2016.
I
though,
don't
yeah.
think I took any I didn't take any pictures from
That was
that
my
game.
background for a while. The picture when they like had the lineup and they introduced everyone, I had a picture of when they had Bergeron up on the jumbotron. That was my
Oh,
background on my phone for a while.
there we go. Well,
So you're
we'll
just
find
trying to
it.
figure out when you went.
Yeah, so we could find out the score. I think it was
I'll
2-1
find it.
Canada. If I had to take a guess.
So
But it's
I
been
don't
a
know.
while.
I'm assuming highlights are probably posted somewhere. But what I've started doing for like any game that I go to is I just have like a YouTube playlist of the highlights for that game
Mm.
because I feel like occasionally like I'll like be like, oh, like I went to this, like explaining to somebody that I went to the game or like what was going on, and it's always like good to have that as a reference
Hmm.
point. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't necessarily want to watch some of them because like Vegas has lost 3 of the 4 times that I
yeah.
went to go see them, but they were most of them were pretty good games.
I mean, I have I have a Google My Map thing which has all the arenas on it, and that's where I put all the scores of the games I go to. So I at least have all like the dates and the scores
That's
noted,
cool.
but I don't have all the highlight videos saved. So that's probably a good idea, just to get a little bit more context. If I ever want to recall something, I could do that, but it might
So
be
wait,
tricky to find some of the highlight videos.
Well, I found the
so
date and I Googled it, but it's only showing the 10 days later when they play each other, the
Oh,
non
not the
preseason.
preseason
But
game.
it was September 10th, 2016.
September 10th. Okay. Yeah, so it was 2016. So at least I got that right. I would love if it was 2-1 Canada though, but I don't think it sounds like we won't be able to find it cuz I'm sure it's hard to keep record of the preseason stuff for Canada versus US. It's not even like the NHL preseason, so.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, Brendan, after you hit all of the NHL arenas and you check that off the list, then you have to secure a Vegas win in all 32 arenas.
Oh
So
gosh.
then, so then, when you have that map and you have all of the winning scores, then you can like make a canvas or like frame that and hang it up on your wall.
I would really have to make some of those trips count. Like, oh god, if I go out to Western Canada and every game I see they lose, like now that's a whole nother flight and a whole
No, you just
nother
have to
game.
stay there and keep watching games back to back until they win. Then you can leave.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, but it's only when Vegas
Oh,
yeah,
plays
only
them
when
though.
Vegas is
oh
there.
yeah. You just follow them around like for the whole year and then take a year
That
off work.
that would be epic, but there's no way I would ever be able to afford that unless I robbed something
Sports
um,
betting
or yeah, no, or
against Vegas.
lottery
Go.
ticket.
So you
Yeah, there we
heard it
go.
here first. You heard it here first. If you see Brendan making these trips all over the place, you got to check your local bank because something's not right.
I got the sneaky fingers.
I did find the score. I sent the screenshot in the chat.
Oh,
It was
Five
nice.
five two Canada.
5-2.
Oh, I wasn't even
Thank
freaking
you,
close.
Wikipedia.
I'm not vindicated.
What is the what are the scores underneath? Are those just like previous scores? What is that?
Maybe.
Or is that or no? That's goals by period. Oh, that's goals by period. Goals by
Oh,
period.
yeah.
Okay. When I usually see
But
those
Canada won,
numbers
I got
underneath,
that.
I'm like, when I see those scores underneath, I'm usually thinking like, what was there like a shootout or something
Yeah,
going on?
that's what
Mm.
I was thinking too. Sometimes in those,
What
like in preseason, they do unnecessary shootouts, like
I was about to say that.
more like exhibition things, I guess.
Yeah, I was
Like
gonna
they
say
did that
like
in the global series.
yeah, it'd be cool if they did that for every preseason game because it's like it doesn't add that much time, and then it also just gives guys experience in the shootout. You know, because
Yeah.
you're never really practicing that, so it's kind of like neat to get that opportunity. It's just like the same thing. Like we went to, I know I had mentioned this to you, Brendan. I went to a Manchester United preseason game at MetLife, and they do the same thing. They do a shootout after, I think, after every preseason game, just to give the guys some experience shooting, taking penalty shots.
That's cool.
Because you don't. That's not something you care to care to practice or spend time in your team practice working on.
I think some teams do that though. At the end of practices, they'll do like penalty shots, but you probably don't take it as seriously as you do even like a
Exactly. Yeah.
preseason and different
Yeah.
goalies and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Plus that at least like kind of feels like a real atmosphere in preseason. So it's like when you actually have the pressure on, it's totally different than you just like taking a shot at the net in practice.
Let's just quickly, even though we're a little into the episode at this point, we'll talk about the waiver. So there was a couple waiver claims. So Prosvetov, the goalie from Arizona, gets picked up by Colorado, and it looks like he's going to be the backup for the time being to Georgiev, because Francouz is dealing with an injury again. He's kind of injury prone, so we'll see if that ends up working out, if they pick him up for free because Arizona couldn't keep him, and that might work. Lassie Thompson was waived by Ottawa, picked up by Anaheim, and then they had to waive him again, and so Ottawa reclaimed him. So good on them not losing their first-round pick for nothing. A.J. Greer, former Boston Bruin, goes to Calgary. I texted Dean when that broke, and he said, he said, meh.
Good for him, though.
Yeah, good for him. I hope he does well.
He wasn't going to be playing, or at least starting with us.
He didn't really have a role this year with the expectation for the guys.
We want our young guys to get some reps in, too. So.
Mm-hmm. And then Penguins claim John Ludwig from Florida. I'm not familiar with him, but I did just want to briefly mention him. So those are done. And then we had some extensions, which actually so I was surprised by the Scheifele and Hellebuck extensions. I think we're not really alone in that, because for like a while there wasn't really any buzz about them as far as either trade. Like the rumor was trades, but no like concrete leads or anything, and so they both end up sticking around. They both sign identical 7 by 8.5s, which I think Hellebuck is one of the elite goaltenders where it makes sense to sign him for that much money. So, and those are, core pieces of the franchise. They both spent their whole careers in Winnipeg. So it's just, I'm sure it's nice and a little bit of vindication for Winnipeg fans that are like, see, like, we can keep players. People do want to play here. Like, that is a nice feeling. So good for them.
I did not expect Hellebuck to sign a long-term contract. I thought if he did stay, it was going to be a short thing.
Yeah, I think I was getting that feeling as well, that it would be a bridge sort of deal, and that if Winnipeg just isn't cutting it in like 2 or 3 seasons, then find a way to get some value for him and go to another destination where they can win a cup. But I guess they're both committed, thinking, we spent so much time here, like, we want to bring a cup to Winnipeg, and hopefully they do.
Yeah, good. I mean, I think it's good for Winnipeg. I think just because, like, I think Hellebuck is one of the main reasons why they're even like relevant. Like, he can. Oh yeah. Even with like an average roster, he can carry them, to the playoffs. I'm curious. So you think, or no? What I was wondering was, what is actually Hellebuck's age? Because it's like, if he's signing for 7 years, then like what? How old is he now?
28.
I was gonna say 29.
29. Like, I don't know why I feel like he's older than that. I guess he's been
30.
Wow.
Oh, 30.
Also, like, Vasilevsky seems older because he's just like
he's 28. I think.
And the starter. For so long, but also like
for a while.
He's 29, Vasilevsky.
Oh, 29.
But like, he's aged to like a 34-year-old based off how many games he's played.
Yeah.
Not even counting the playoffs, but he plays like 70 games a year.
Not 70, but he usually gets closer to 60 than most. Like Hellebuck also has been heavily relied on historically by Winnipeg.
Gotta be more than 60.
So. Yeah, and it is kind of cool that that he's an American player that's actually sticking around in Canada, because I feel like a lot of times these American guys kind of want to end up going home. We saw that with a couple of guys recently. I mean, we thought Goudreau was going to be going to the Islanders or New Jersey or something, but then he ends up going to Columbus. But that does seem to happen where these American guys playing in Canada or just even somewhere else just try to end up going home. So looks like
They want to win a championship, and that's not happening in Canada.
Yeah, right. It's been 30 long years for Canadian fans. Although, like I know not every Canadian is like in agreement that they don't really care which Canadian team wins as long as one of them does. Like some of them are like, yeah, no. If Toronto or Montreal or whoever I root for doesn't win, like I don't want those other teams to win because like they're just so much more competitive. And it's just a different environment down here in the States, as they call it. We're like, yeah, whatever.
With the
we can give you one.
hockey stick on your floor.
I actually got that at the flea market last weekend because I'm planning on going as a hockey player for Halloween. So it was, I think it was $5 or something like that, and it's wood, obviously. So it's pretty old. The guy that I bought it from, he was like, yeah, I had that. That was my stick like when I was 12 or something. I mean, he wasn't that old. He was probably in his 30s, but he's like, yeah, I know. I never really used it to play hockey. I just used it to like balance when I was skating, which I was like, yeah, it's at least kind of cool that he used it. He had another one, but it wasn't as nice. Like it didn't have the rubber tip at the end, so I only bought the one.
Which jersey are you gonna wear?
I was about to ask that question.
I was thinking about that. I haven't decided yet. I might go with
all of them.
I might go with like that, like a Philly one, because it's Halloween colors, like orange and black. Like I've got the Philly alternate jersey, which is the black, mostly black with some orange. It's kind of like good colors, but I don't know. I could do Vegas.
I think that
too,
works.
Or I could buy like a Halloween jersey, but I don't think I want to. So,
yeah, you gotta buy a Philly jersey and then put Halloween on the back. That's the name.
Oh, I gotta customize it with number 31 and spooky or something like that. Halloween.
Yeah.
Or Michael
I've seen a lot of
Myers.
Goon jerseys during Halloween.
Say again.
I've seen a lot of Goon jerseys
Goon.
during Halloween.
Yeah.
Like costume.
I'm thinking maybe this is your opportunity to get a Ghost Pirates jersey.
There you go.
Oh, Savannah.
Then
Ghost Pirates.
then you got the Ghost Halloween. This is your opportunity right now.
That is a valid excuse. But then I have to buy something. Like I already have to buy, like, I don't know how far into it I'm gonna go. Like if I'm gonna get like shoulder pads and I'm gonna get like pants and everything. I mean, I probably should get pants, I guess. And then I don't have skates or rollerblades. I don't know which one I'm gonna pick. Maybe I'll do skates with a skate guard on, or just remove the blades, or maybe I'll get
I have
rollerblades.
an extra pair of hockey pants, shin pads, and socks I can ship you.
We're probably similar size, so that'll probably work out.
I mean, the pants are huge, but it's just a drawstring, so
Hey, I
might
would
be
I would
might
take
be
it.
cheaper. I don't know. We can talk after or whenever.
Definitely.
But I have some extra gear.
What color are the pants?
Black.
Oh, good. I figured they were black, but you never know.
I have some options for sock color.
Could be yellow or something for Bruins. I don't know. But so that should be fun.
Nice.
And then we're still talking about extensions, I guess, because we got the Darlene and the Power extensions also. Woo! Brought it back around, baby. Yeah. Seamless. Yeah. Darlene signs a huge 8x11 extension, which kicks in next year. So that's
the McAvoy contract looked pretty good.
Yeah. I think there were a couple other people or a couple other fan bases who just recently, re-signed guys and were like, we're feeling pretty good after this. But he's worth the money. I think it still might be a decent contract with the way the cap's going up. So that's good. And then they also extended Power, their first overall pick there. Well, both of them were to a 7x8.35. So they're really hoping that he grows into that role. And, I mean, I think he's projected to. So that'll probably end up working out. Now they've got a decent chunk of their young core locked up, just like Ottawa's been doing the past couple of seasons. So things are looking bright for those franchises. They just got to get over the hump, and we'll see. We'll see if either of them, or both of them, or neither of them do this year.
Speaking of Ottawa, got any Shane Pinto news for us?
Not really. Pinto is still unsigned. One thing to note is that he's not eligible to get offer sheeted, just based on his like classification as an RFA. He hasn't played enough games, I think, or I don't know. He's a 10.2C, I think, is the actual terminology according to the CBA. But regardless, he can't be offer sheeted. So I think the expectation, at least like DJ Smith, the head coach of the Ottawa Senators, was saying, they still expect him to play this year, and he was recently seen skating with the team, even though he's still not under contract at this point. So I think they're still trying to get the money right, and then find out who they got to deal out to keep him. So that still hasn't been fledged out, and they already played their first game. They played yesterday. They didn't win, and Matthew Joseph scored the first goal for them for the season, and he was sort of the rumored guy on the trade block. If they were gonna move on from somebody, it was probably gonna be him or maybe Brandstrom. So he's already contributing, trying to keep himself there. I'm sure he doesn't want to have to deal with that. And he's heard the rumors, so good on Joseph, making it even tougher on the GM to find out how to keep Pinto.
Have you guys heard any numbers on what the estimated contract is?
Well, he was offered allegedly a 1-by-1,
Okay.
and then Pinto was like, no.
I think he was looking at like the 2.5 range, something like that. Maybe a little bit lower than that, but I think 2.5 was the rumor at like 2 or 3 years. I don't remember what the term, but it wouldn't have been a long-term deal at this point.
The first thing I heard was 1-by-1, and then the second thing I heard was that they were trying to get closer, or I think he was trying to get closer to 2. But I didn't hear any like whether they were just going for a 1-year deal, or if they were trying to, get 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I don't know where the focus is at this point. I'm sure it's starting to boil over a little bit, especially now that they've lost their first game already. We'll see how much their center depth gets tested without him in the lineup, because, I think they kind of need him. So maybe this will be a situation where the player ends up coming out ahead, getting a little bit more. But, Ottawa is really not in a good financial position to make it work. Obviously, that's why we're here. So we'll see how they get it done. If they need to move on from somebody that maybe we weren't initially expecting, could be. So they're not done yet, and I'm sure Owen is not happy about how things have gone already. But he's an Ottawa fan, so I'm sure he's still very optimistic until they're mathematically eliminated. I was sort of pushing for them at the latter end of last year. Like, they still had a chance. It was pretty slim. Like, I was sort of following them in Buffalo just to see if either of them were going to push in. And, Ottawa just sort of hit a wall a little bit. And then Buffalo was really close. They made it to, like, the second to last game or something like that in their season, which is, like, the most meaningful hockey they've played in 12 years. So they're on the precipice.
I have a question for you guys.
Oh, go ahead.
So today I made a bet with someone at work. I said that Chicago would be one of the bottom 6 teams in the league at the end of the year, and he thought I was crazy.
How much does he know about hockey?
No, he knows a lot. He thinks they're going to be better than people think.
Oh yeah.
But then I was looking at the league, and I'm like, all right, so you have like Anaheim, San Jose, Arizona, Philly, maybe St. Louis,
yeah,
Columbus. Honestly. So I'm like, it could be like they could be right around like number 6.
I was gonna say I feel like they're in that 4 to 6 range, so they're not the bottom three teams. Like I think we've all kind of determined who the bottom three teams are this
Hmm.
year. I feel like that's kind of like chalk. Like everybody's got the same idea, but I'd say 4 to 6. So I think you're realistic in saying bottom six.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm not really making it interesting, but I kind of agree. Bottom six for Chicago. Still, even with Bedard, like that. Just like looking at the rest of their roster, and also I'm not inspired by their goalie tandem whatsoever. We'll see
That
if
did it for me, the goalies.
yeah, like we'll see if Soderblom takes another step this year, and I think they've got a couple other like that. I don't remember their third and fourth string guys, but I think they played like 5 goalies last year, just to test out
Soderblom
what's
looked
going to
good
work.
last night.
Yeah, so the current guys are Mrazek and Soderblom, and then we'll see. But yeah, I'm just not there with either of them. I don't like their decor much either. Like Seth Jones is okay. I think maybe we underrate him a little bit just because of how bad his contract is. Like sometimes that happens where we
Yeah.
suddenly start to think that a player is bad just because their contract is bad. He's still a
He's not an $8 million
workhorse.
player or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. He's definitely not earning the 11 million that he's getting per season. I think on the ice yet, but he's still not a bad player. But anyways, yeah, bottom six for me. But we mentioned, I think we mentioned it already, how the Bedard hype has kind of they've really been
Hmm.
shoehorning it in pretty hard. But I think it's mostly good. Like yeah, during the game I think they were kind of doing like really
Every
focusing
time he
on him
got on
a
the
lot.
ice,
Every
they're like,
time
Bedard's on the ice.
yeah, he's on the ice, and then like they're showing him on the bench, just sitting there. They're comparing him to legendary players. I don't know if you guys saw that that shot from the broadcast where it's like career goals: Wayne Gretzky 894, Bedard 1. It's like oh my god, they're really comparing him to the the highest goal scorer of all time. Like let's let's pump the brakes a little bit here.
Yeah, and on the first goal of the game, did he assist on he didn't assist
He
on the
assisted
first
on the
one, right?
first goal.
It was the first goal,
First
and
goal
it's
of their
like
first game against Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
yeah,
not the
yeah,
second game.
yeah. So in that game, it's like I guess it's his first point, but it's like was it Donato scored the goal? He got no attention from the
Oh
broadcast
no.
whatsoever. It was like we don't care about the goal scorer. Donato scores the goal, but the camera's on Bedard for the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
But
think they'll probably dial it back a little bit.
that's what I'm
Like
hoping
as we
for.
get further along, and I definitely will not be watching as many Chicago games once the season gets going. Like even though he's there, like I still really don't want to watch Chicago, because I don't like the team, and they're not gonna be very good for the most part. So it's just I'll see like Bedard highlights and stuff after the fact, but I think we probably will hear about it less as we're getting in further.
Yeah, and all the memes are circulating all over the internet of the broadcast teams having only two thing or ESPN broadcast teams having only two things to speak about. It's either Taylor Swift and the Kansas City Chiefs, or it's Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks, and it's like a which one do I choose kind of thing.
Yeah, they did the same thing where like Bedard's family, same with like showing Taylor Swift, like they showed Bedard's family reactions like to every play he had.
Yeah,
It's actually making me wonder too. It's like if his family was just gonna travel until he got his first goal or what, or like, 'cause I assume they're at his first game and then they were at this game. It's
yeah.
like how many game? Are they gonna be at every game or?
Well, I think they moved like there was a funny story. Luke Richardson was talking about how his mom was asking about like they were gonna move into the same building as the head coach actually, and she was like, "Well, we're not sure. Like we got to make sure Connor makes the team and everything." And Luke Richardson was like, "I wouldn't be too worried about that. Like, yeah, you could probably sign the lease because Connor is going to be making this team. So it's kind of funny. So they probably were just going to go to his very first game and then go back to Chicago and just see however many games are in Chicago until they go back on the road, would be my guess.
I mean, this game was in Boston that they were at last night.
Oh.
That's why I thought it was like kind of weird.
They
did travel.
Okay, for some reason I was thinking it wasn't Chicago, so okay, yeah.
Yeah, the thing about Bedard not making the team, it's funny because when he has been interviewed, he said the same thing. Like the way he thinks is just like it's like one step at a time. Like I haven't made the team yet. Like
right.
Like he's always talking about like when I make the team.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, we get it. You're gonna make the team. Like obviously.
Yeah, definitely. Some humbleness there, and yeah, it's nice to see the maturity already. Like I think a lot of people were saying, he's pretty composed on the ice and. He's handling all the pressure and all the media attention like pretty well for an 18-year-old who's like still living with his parents.
Did you see the other thing where they asked about like if he's been cooking or whatever, and he was saying how like he's been FaceTiming his mom and then like for help cooking, and then someone asked a follow-up question about like what he's been cooking. He's like, oh, like I don't know, I was just answering this for the interview or something.
I saw
like,
that. That was pretty funny. He's like, honestly, I'm not really doing much. I just said it. I didn't really have anything in mind. But
now we're going on and on about Bedard.
That was pretty fun. Yeah. The irony is not dawned on us. We'll cut it short there, but we wish him the best of luck.
Yeah, give Fantilli some love.
Yeah, Fantilli's playing tonight. They had a nice Owen sent that video of him with watching some video tributes from his friends and family. Which was pretty cool. His brother had a pretty good little speech there, so I'm rooting for him. I wanted him to go to Columbus. Well, I wanted Bedard to go to Columbus, but once the draft lottery happened, that was the end of that. But Fantilli's awesome.
I don't think it's a live update because the goal happened in the first period and we're in the third period now. But he did already record an assist.
Yeah, that was the first goal of the game.
Their only goal of the game.
The beat goal.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. You want to talk about the Leafs, I guess, a little bit? Switching gears from one market to another very contentious market. Leafs finally changed their goal song. So the dreaded "You're Making My Dreams Come True" Hall & Oates is, well, actually, I've heard that they prefer to be called Daryl Hall and John Oates because they never actually went by Hall & Oates like officially, but whatever. Anyways, the song is no more for the goal song. It was definitely the worst one in the league in my opinion. I think I'm not too alone in that. So they've changed
Montreal.
They've changed it to "Pursuit of Happiness," the Steve Aoki remix. So the part that they play, we were just previewing it beforehand. Is just like an instrumental, like electronic beats version, with like the same beat from the original song. So I think it's an improvement, but the bar was not very high.
I like it.
I agree with you that the bar wasn't high. I like the Hall & Oates song, and I guess I'm still gonna call them Hall & Oates. But I like the whole. I'm saying I like the song as a song.
Oh well,
as a goal song. I guess I wasn't against it. I guess as much as other people. Like I definitely think it's bottom. Like it's bottom of the league as far as goal songs. But like, is it the worst? I don't know.
It just
so I'm kind of neutral on the song.
It doesn't invoke the right energy, the right feeling that the other songs do. And this one, I think it immediately I was literally bobbing my head to the song like when I was listening to it, like just watching a highlight where they had the first goal. And I was like, okay, yeah, like this is already an improvement. I mean, obviously I was fixating on it, but
yeah, I was gonna say definitely the positive for me was it matching the energy of what's happening in the game. But I feel like if you're gonna take the opportunity to change your goal song, I feel like it should be something like more meaningful to your franchise. Like I feel like Vegas, like again, I don't want to be biased, but I feel like Vegas did it right in that they like it's tied to the team. It has more meaning behind it.
Yep.
And I feel like sure that the song like amps you up and gets you going, but like I feel like it's just another song, so I guess it's a slight improvement. But yeah,
I don't know.
I,
I
I
like it.
mean I'd expect more.
I think again, I like the Hall Notes song. Thought it was a terrible song for a goal horn because it doesn't fit at all. And I think this one just has that arena vibe. But also, I kind of disagree. Like you don't need it to say Toronto in the song or whatever. Like you just need a song that has that arena sound to it, which this one does. Like checks the boxes of just like an arena rock song or not,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. But like Boston's goal song was just some random techno song, and it's now like synonymous with the Bruins. Like you hear that
Absolutely.
song and you're a hockey fan, you think of the Bruins. But before it was just like no one even has heard of like Kernkraft 400 or like
Yeah.
like if you
No.
ask someone about that, they're like what? So
There's
maybe
definitely.
Toronto. I mean, I guess the song's more popular, but maybe people in if this is a song for the next decade, people will think of it as Toronto's goal song and not anything else.
Yeah. There's definitely teams that have like, formed the identity around the song, and then some songs which generate like their own momentum. And I think it can work either way. Like Chelsea Dagger obviously is synonymous with the Blackhawks, and there's other songs where it's like, yeah, they might not have been very popular without either being in like an NHL soundtrack or being a goal song. So it can work both ways, and you got to sort of find your song, and sometimes they'll just stick with it if it makes the most sense. I don't know how long this one's gonna stick around for, but hopefully it's more it's well appreciated, I guess.
I guess what I'm curious about is what that meeting was, where they were, well, what that meeting was like when the game presentation team was discussing what they were going to have their goal song be. Because, like, I just don't, like, it just feels kind of like out of the blue. It's like, okay, we're going to choose Pursuit of Happiness remix. It's like, I like, what were the other options, or what was
I bet
like, it just feels like out of the dark.
the discussion was probably we need more hype,
It was
and they
just me
got more
more,
hype.
and
Yeah.
like what hype songs can you think of?
Yeah,
And this
I'd love to
this
be
came
a,
up.
a fly on the wall for that,
Yeah, who knows?
but yeah,
Should
we'll
have been
never
Darude
probably know.
Sandstorm.
Yeah, it's and so Buffalo did this last year, and they're doing it again this year, where their home games, the players each have their own pick that they've chosen. So they've picked their um their individual songs again this year, and there are a couple pretty funny or interesting ones. Um, Victor Olofsson has selected "Gimme Gimme Gimme" by ABBA, which I think is pretty good. Um, Jeff Skinner has selected "Breaking Free" by Troy Bolton and Gabriela Montez from the High School Musical soundtrack,
Jeez.
which I think was pretty funny. We got Connor Clifton with "I Wanna Rock," Twisted Sister. That's not a bad choice. We got Darlene with "Humble." Kendrick Lamar. We got some. Owen Power has chosen "Power" by Kanye West.
Nice.
I like it.
There you go.
We got some Drake, started from the bottom. Jukebox Hero, Iron Maiden, Henry Yuki. Couple other
I think there's some good choices.
Yeah, not too bad.
Rasputin. Nice.
Yeah. There's one other one that I thought was pretty good. If I can remember. Oh, The Motto. That's not too bad. Oh, One More Time, Daft Punk was Tyson Jost. So there's a couple other ones on there, but yeah, I think that's kind of fun, and I think one other team did that last year too. It might have been Washington, maybe, I can't remember, but it's kind of cool, kind of different.
Yeah, they did that for the NHL awards too. I remember, or not the NHL awards, the NHL like skills competition.
Oh yeah, when they come out like to their own song or whatever.
Yeah,
That's cool.
It's like a baseball walk-up song.
Yep.
that's the best thing about baseball.
Yeah, and then they have to play the game. You want to go into the game that you had? Looks like you have a game prepared, Dean, or I don't know. We have a couple other
Yeah.
items on here. I don't know.
You want to touch on any other points, or you want to just do the game? I think we'll do the game last. So if you have anything else,
Yeah.
the game's like 10 minutes because I have. So basically, whenever we get Zach Spears on here, the game that I'm going to use to embarrass you and get my revenge, where I'm going to use this live like buzzer thing. We're going to buzz in,
Oh
and I found
boy.
this website that I'm going to test out. So my game is basically I have 10 questions, and I called it Easy Questions, Fast Answers. And I have 10 questions that are just kind of off the top of my head that I knew the answers to already, so I didn't have to do any research.
Smart.
And I started with really easy ones and kind of made them a little more tricky. And then I have an 11th question as a tiebreaker if you each get 5. But
What's the what's the category of the questions?
Easy
Is it
questions.
just like general
Gen-
NHL knowledge?
yes. And some of
I
it
feel
might
like
be
Brendan's
Bruins
gonna
based if
kill
it's
me at
general
this, but
knowledge.
we'll go for it.
General knowledge, just hockey knowledge that I have that most people probably know as well. But so yeah, they'll only take like 10 minutes. So if you have any other news, we can do that before we end on that game.
I mean,
Or we
I guess since I sort of joked about it earlier and I never explained it, we can talk about the NHL's recent decision for the Pride tape ban, which is a shame. But yeah, they
It's
basically
dumb.
have a no, what is it? Say no gay. Is that what it is? I couldn't remember what the heck of the term was.
I forget
Policy
too.
for just not allowing players to use the tape. And
Don't
so,
say gay.
don't say gay. I don't know what the hell I was doing. Yeah, we
I
can.
couldn't think of it either.
But yeah, so some players have already sort of said that they disagree with the decision. I know like Scott Lawton said that he's probably just gonna wear it or gonna use it and take the fine like whenever they have their Pride night. I think a couple other players have expressed similar interests, and I think one team like ordered a full case of the Pride tape when they saw it. So it's good to see that there is some pushback. It's unfortunate that we even have to have this discussion, but it's just another step backwards for the league as far as inclusivity, and it doesn't help young fans or it's almost a guarantee that there's closeted gay players in the league or in coaching staff or what have you, management that just pushes them further away, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say other than it's dumb and it sucks, and I don't know. I mean, I guess it's part of them just banning like every type of event. So I mean, there's no like police appreciation or like it's not like they're just doing like Pride Night, but I mean, I don't know. It's
So
just
as far as I was aware, it's just I thought it was just the tape in the jerseys in the warm-ups, but all the nights are still happening in the arenas.
Yeah.
I forget because they're not doing like certain things like before the game. Well, yeah, because they didn't like that certain players would like skip the pre-game skate or whatever, or like not wear the jersey, and that would cause backlash. Like we're just getting rid of all of it, which I don't.
But yeah,
A
so
lot of
like
people don't think
I
it's the
think
right choice.
the like official quote or something from Bettman was something to the effect of, "We don't want to be a distraction to those event nights, so we're just
Yeah.
going to get rid of the tape. We'll get rid of the jerseys," which like I definitely think that I'm kind of on the fence, I guess, compared to you two. Like I definitely don't have a problem with the players voicing their opinions and their beliefs, but like at the same time, like this happens in like all of the leagues where it's like technically the leagues are private entities and they can choose what you do or do not do at work, and they're essentially at work. So
Yeah.
so I think if I'm not mistaken, I think Marchand like kind of said a similar thing where he's like, I think he said to the effect of like, I think it's dumb, but like the NHL has the ability to do that if they want to. You know?
Like, I don't know. It should. I guess they should allow the players that want to participate the ability to do so, and then, you know, if a player just really doesn't feel like doing it, and not necessarily just for the pride one, but I think that's pretty much the only sort of night that anybody would really be avoiding, unless you're like against indigenous peoples or something, because they usually do like an indigenous peoples night. But
well,
again,
I know.
I think pride is the most contentious one as far as the NHL specialty.
I know
nights goes.
The NFL. What was this? This was like a while back. We're talking. I think it was like maybe like our freshman year of college. So, like we're talking ages ago now. You know,
7-8 years ago.
Yep. That I think they banned anything pink for because guys were like moms had breast cancer or something like that, so they were just wearing like a ribbon or wearing a wristband or wearing something pink. Like I guess that's during the game, but like the NFL was like, yeah, that's not happening anymore, and I think it's just like it's no different than like even college sports. Like they want you to wear certain colors. They don't want you to be differentiated from any other player. So
yeah, but I mean, it's
during the game.
It's different.
Yeah.
Like they weren't wearing these jerseys during the games. They weren't wearing they didn't have the tape on for the games. So it's just like a way for, you know, fans that came out for that specific night and want to see their, you know, they're being, you know, respected on the ice. You know, they just don't get that. It takes away some of the excitement for going there and being a part of it. So I think overall it's still a negative.
Yeah, I think they're still like the jerseys will still be sold online. They just won't be
They
obviously
just
worn.
won't wear them.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's a shame, and like especially with the like the Black History Month jerseys, like a lot of those I know have been like designed by like local artists and things. So it was really cool for them, you know, those people to have their art actually shown on the ice. Basically, it's like a canvas more or less. So that's just another thing that you won't get to see. Those specialty jerseys get the same spotlight. I mean, they'll still be sold online, but you know, a lot less eyes are gonna be on them. So, but that's separate from the tape ban, but it's still sort of in the same discussion. So, I think we pretty much hit on our feelings on that one. So let's exit with a nice uplifting game of easy questions, fast answers.
All right. If you go into the chat, I sent the link to the website and then the code to put in. So you hit like join game. Again, this game is just made for me to test this out for future games that are more set up.
This game is made so that Dean can embarrass you in the future, Brendan.
Right.
Exactly.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Also, this website apparently compensates for latency, so you can't blame your internet for being slow on the buzzer. It compensates apparently somehow, so should be completely fair. There's bread. There's Go Knight Go. All right.
Wow, I didn't even get the Knights. I didn't even get the
Go Knight Go. All right. So do you want to just both hit your buzzers as a test?
Boop.
All right. So Brendan got in first.
Yeah.
And now you can't hit the buzzer again until I clear them. Now you should be able to hit them again, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I have the
Good job,
ability.
Brendan. Okay.
Fastest clicks in the West.
So I'm going to ask the question. You can buzz in. I'll need to finish asking the question if you know what I'm going to say. 'Cause I'm going to stop when you buzz in. So if you know what I'm going to say, you can go ahead and buzz in. Obviously, whoever buzzes in first, I'm going to ask you, or you're going to be the first one to answer. If you get it wrong, the other person can go ahead, and we'll just keep it simple. If you get it right, you get a point. If you get it wrong, the other person can guess. And if you both get it wrong, no points.
Okay,
you don't lose a point
there's
for
okay, forget it.
If you buzz in first and get it wrong, you don't lose a point or anything.
Okay.
All right, you ready for
that
the first question?
Buzzing first every time, right?
I mean, maybe I don't know. We'll figure it out because again, this is more of a test. So I'll know if I
Yeah.
say the first word and you buzz in, I'm gonna stop talking. So if I say who and you buzz in,
Yeah.
all right,
Connor McDavid.
yeah, no. All right, here we go. Who won the Stanley Cup last year? Brendan.
Oh, how did I miss that?
Vegas.
Good job. Can you guys see who buzzed in first? Do you see
Yeah.
that on your
Yes.
screen? Okay. All right. Question number 2. Which team won the President's Trophy last year?
Boston
And
Bruins.
then again. All right.
Is this gonna be a James Holzhauer moment for like Jeopardy, where I'm just gonna lose at the buzzer here?
Which player last year scored the most goals in the league? Oh, Gifford.
That's Connor McDavid, right?
Yes.
I
Okay. I was gonna say. I was gonna say.
I knew
I
the
was gonna
answer
say.
though.
Who is the tallest player to ever play in the NHL?
Zdeno Chara.
Okay. I see. At least I had the answer for
6'9".
that one.
There you go.
At least I had the
Tallest in the
answer.
game. You remember the NHL, like NHL 15?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Now we're getting into the not super obvious ones. All right. I already cleared the buzzers. Who set the fastest single lap speed in the fastest skater skills competition? Fastest single lap ever. Yes.
Oh, ever? Oh.
Not this last year. Just ever in the competition.
Connor McDavid.
Nope. Brendan?
I
I buzzed it. I didn't. I never even buzzed. I'll go with Barzell.
Nope.
I didn't feel good about it.
I was gonna go.
My guess was McDavid.
thinking you were. Okay. I was
All right,
gonna say.
so-
I thought you were. The question was what was it was gonna be. Who did it last year? And wasn't it Kyrou?
It was Kyrie last year, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so now I cleared the buzzers. I'm going to give one hint at a time, and you can buzz in if you think you know it.
Oh. Okay.
This was in 2016. I believe at the time he was on the Red Wings.
Dylan Larkin.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
He's only played for the Red Wings, so.
Name a player.
Wait,
let me
I'm
clear the
still
buzzers.
buzzed.
Yep, sorry. Name a player who has scored a hat trick this season.
Brock Besser.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Austin
I-
Matthews.
Has he
Those
scored
are
a
the
hat trick?
two.
Okay, I only knew Besser, but I at least
I only knew
again I had
Matthews,
the
honestly.
answer.
So I looked it up to make sure because I was like, I wanted to see if there were other ones
Hmm.
before I asked. What is the name of the Blackhawks goal song?
Chelsea Dagger.
It's funny. Some of these already
Which you
came up in
mentioned
the
that.
early-
Which you
Yeah.
you mentioned that earlier. I actually did not know what the name of the goal song was, so I only actually had the answer because you mentioned it in
Brendan.
this podcast,
It would be
They-
funny if you had stolen it from him.
That's
and I
funny.
still didn't get the answer.
All right. Name a Bruins player who played his first NHL game last night. Also,
I
It also came up in the
also
podcast. Brendan,
John Beecher.
there you go. You want to name the other one for for bragging rights?
Matt Patra.
Also, there you go. All right, we're back to a pretty easy one. What was the original name of the most recently relocated franchise?
yeah.
Oh my God. The Atlanta Flames. Oh my gosh, no.
You've heard?
Wait, isn't it?
I made a mistake.
Wait, I feel like I know this, but why can't I think of it? It's not the. I mean, it's not the Thrashers because
It is the Thrashers.
It is the Thrashers.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what Brendan. I thought Brendan answered.
the Flames.
I just mixed myself
Oh,
up
okay.
because
Okay.
I was like, original. Like I was thinking, like Atlanta was not the or the Flames were first in Atlanta, but the franchises are separate. So
you confused me because you said Thrashers, and then you were like, "Oh, I made a mistake," and I was like, "Oh, I thought that was the answer."
No, I said Flames first when I should have just said Thrashers, but whatever.
All right, question number 10.
Oh shoot!
Name the NHL player who beat a fan with his own shoe.
Ooh.
I've seen this video.
I don't know. I wasn't sure if it was common knowledge or just because I'm a Bruins fan that I know this.
Yeah, I know it's
okay. So it's a Bruin then.
It's a Bruins.
Yeah.
The whole team went into the stands to fight a fan, and this one player took off this fan's shoe and beat him over the head with it.
How recent is this?
50 years ago? I don't know.
Yeah,
okay, I was gonna say it's got to be a while back,
or maybe 70s.
Yeah. This player is now in sports media. He was on intermissions. I don't know if he is anymore. He definitely was for NBC.
Oh.
His initials are MM. Brendan, you should know this because
I feel like I should know it. Yeah.
Remember when I did the edit for that one? I put up the 100-player centennial thing, and there was the shoe for one of them.
Mike Milbury.
Yeah, I kind of helped Brendan with that one, but I guess we don't need a tiebreaker question then.
Oh, good. We
can ask it anyway for fun.
Yeah, for fun.
Okay.
Which player had the quote, "It's only game. Why you have to be mad?"
Brizgalov?
Yes.
Ilya Brizgalov. It's only
I feel
game. Why you have to be mad?
Well, Gifford, you got 2 right. Good job.
Hey, I got 2. I'll take it. And I think
you probably knew most of them.
No, I didn't know all of them. I knew some of them. But I mean, I'll take.
I should have got that Thrashers one.
Well, at
least
this setup, it's the buzzer means one person can take it. If you have no idea, you don't have to sit there trying to guess.
Yeah.
Like I did last week, where you're just sitting there stumbling, I have no idea. At least if you either both don't know or one person just knows it right away.
Right.
But I think
I feel like next time I come on, I come on, I got to come with a bunch of 10 obscure questions.
Do some research.
I feel like these were pretty straightforward questions. I'd say there were a couple in there.
Yeah, but I feel like between you two, I feel like you'd have a better, because you've been following for a lot longer, Dean, and then Brendan's in the NHL news every single day. So
yeah, just don't ask about which players are on which teams or where coaches are, because clearly I don't know those things.
The first question is name the 32 coaches in alphabetical order.
Yeah, Brendan's gonna buzz in immediately. He's like, that's what I did last night before I went to bed.
Yeah, no.
Instead of counting sheep, he counts the NHL coaches.
No, I texted Dean. I was like, I couldn't fall asleep one night. I wasn't after we recorded the podcast, the last episode, and so I was trying to name all the general managers in my head, and then it ended up hurting me because then I got so fixated on the one that I couldn't remember.
that I was like,
I eventually just had to look it up so I could sleep at peace. I was like, I just know it's not in there at this point. So actually, I was very close. I was formulating the name because I thought the first name without a last name, and then I thought the last name without the right first name at separate instances. So I was very close, but 31 out of 32, which I think is. I mean, I'd say it's pretty damn good.
That's really good.
I definitely couldn't do that in football.
You're for GMs
or head coaches, yeah. But
I could definitely do I forget when we did head coaches before. I forget how many I got, but GMs that's tough. GMs and owners just don't get mentioned nearly as much. It's draft time is when you hear about all the GMs, and then they kind of forget they exist until the next draft.
Yeah,
unless your GM is your head coach.
Yeah,
I couldn't even do all the starting goalies right now, but I'm sure Brendan could. He can probably do all the backups.
I would do pretty good. I think I'm pretty solid. I could solidly say I could get all the starting goalies, and I'm pretty sure I could get most, if not all, the number twos.
Gifford, do you know who the Tampa Bay Lightning goalie is now with Vasilevsky hurt?
Johansson, isn't that his name?
I wonder if like the average fan knows that, or like
Johansson and
Johansson.
probably Hugo Arnefelt, I guess, is the
I
backup.
don't want to get that.
Who started in net tonight for the Buffalo Sabres?
I didn't actually look to see who was starting tonight, but it was either Levi or
Levi, yeah, we might guess.
probably or
Levi.
UPL, I guess. Or I don't know if Comrie is the third guy or if
Palmer's
he's
the one I don't know. I'm like, I know Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen because how could you forget a guy like that?
UPL.
And then Devin Levi.
Dean, can you name the 5 goalies that started for the Golden Knights last year?
Oh boy, I'd probably have a better chance of doing it the year they had like Subban and and I can't think of the other guy. The
first season.
Yeah.
Fleury, Malcolm Subban, Oscar Dansk.
Subban was Dansk, yeah. Was Subban second string?
Dylan.
No, it was the guy with an L.
Maxime Legacy.
Legacy.
And then Dylan Ferguson.
Dylan Ferguson. Yep. So what about this past year, Dean? You're dodging the question.
Jonathan Quick, Aiden Hill.
There you go. Come on.
That's good.
The obvious one that I forget his name. Did Leonard didn't play at all, did he?
No. He was still on IR the whole time.
There's one you will definitely not get, but I think you can get the other two.
Yeah, you won't get the third stringer this year, but you should at least get one of the other guys.
Yeah, I can't think of your main goalie.
Yeah, the de facto starter. I think you haven't named yet.
Yeah, the one who's starting tonight. But I think he's the 1B right now, to be honest.
I'm blanking on his name too.
And then the other one is also not with the team anymore. Went back to Winnipeg.
Back to Winnipeg? Yeah,
I was going to turn around and say, like, this is the player, but wrong jersey.
What jersey are you wearing right now?
This is Carlson.
Yeah, actually, the name is in the background of my.
Thompson?
Oh, it is. Yeah, Logan Thompson.
LT is either the 1A or the 1B. I guess we'll see.
Logan Thompson doesn't seem like a starter to me. I don't know, just in my head, like. How many games did he play last
year? He was a starter last year until he got hurt.
Yeah. And then Brossoit took over, who's the other guy that you didn't mention, who's now weighing right now. Brossoit. And then Hill. And I think now it's, like, to be honest, like I think they'll trade pretty much 50-50. Like, it'll be a 1A, 1B scenario. But I think it's kind of like Hill's going to get the most important games, I think, right now. That's at least my opinion. Until he proves he doesn't deserve the top games, which, as far as right now, it feels like he's still playing the same way he played during the Cup Finals.
So. Well, because Thompson
for one game, which is a 1 game sample, but still.
No, he was injured for the playoffs. It was Brossoit that started.
Okay, because no, Hill didn't start the playoffs.
Yeah, Brossoit. So Brossoit got hurt at I think it was Game 2 of the Edmonton series.
Yeah.
And then Hill rode the net for the rest of the way with Quick as the backup.
You think the Knights would have won with Brossoit?
I thought about that. Like, think about like running the season back with Brossoit all the way, or like if Thompson never got hurt, like what would happen? That's an interesting scenario to consider. What the weird thing looking back now though, it's like losing Brossoit in that Game 2. That hurt. It was like, I don't know if we're going to be able to make it out of this series now. And then Hill starts playing out of his mind.
But did Hill like steal any games, or he just played just well?
He, I mean, kind of.
He made some pretty crucial saves.
He stole Game 2 against Dallas for sure, because they were kind of sluggish for the most part in that game, and then they ended up pulling it out in overtime. He just had like solid play, pretty much for the whole Florida series. He was just like super positionally sound. I was never really nervous with him in the net, which is pretty uncommon for like
Yeah.
like normally there's always a little bit of doubt in my mind, but like there was pretty much none, just the way that they were rolling. So
Yeah.
that's about as
And
high
I
of a
think
compliment as I can give.
yeah. And I don't think it was necessarily that he needed to steal games. It was that, like, because Vegas was scoring at will pretty much when they wanted to. It was just like he held them in the game until they started scoring. So it's like sometimes they got off to really slow starts and they didn't put all the goals away until the second or third period. Well, he shut them out in the first period to give them the opportunity to, get on their feet.
Yep. And
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like Colorado when they won the cup. Like they didn't have the best goalie. They just played so well in front of them.
yeah, like Kemper just kind of did enough to get them the saves. Yeah.
Even I feel like Grubauer with Washington, like when they won the cup. I don't know. That who was starting?
It was Holtby was the
Oh,
starter.
Holtby.
And for those playing along at home, the fifth goalie last year was Yuri Patera.
Nope, I haven't gotten that one either.
Who is the projected third string guy pretty much right now in the depth
And he
chart.
only played one? Was it only one game, or did he play a couple?
He played like a couple games near the end of the year before Quick. I think Quick got some starts, and then that was it. I don't remember how many games. It was like 2 or 3. I think.
And he's with the Silver Knights right now. Yeah, so he's third string. I didn't know if he was with the Silver Knights or if he was over in Savannah.
I think
I would assume it was Silver Knights.
Seville is over in Savannah, and then Dahlstrom is over in the Swedish league. I don't know who the backup in the A might be. I don't think Ferguson is with the organization anymore. No, he's not because he played in Ottawa last year. Yeah, I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. Hopefully. I guess we can't say
you
for
gotta
certain based on the
remember.
history.
You got to remember the two most successful seasons in franchise history. They started a bunch of goalies.
They used 5
so
goalies.
Maybe they need to do it again.
Hey, whatever it takes to get to the finals.
Exactly.
Right, Dean?
Yeah.
Or you could just have the arguably best tandem in the league, which I think
True.
It can be pretty argued, yeah, that Boston is up there.
Well, when Vegas wasn't having goalie trouble, they did have one of the best tandems in the league in Leonard and Fleury. So
And I still think
that's why
they have a great one, but
oh yeah, they definitely do. I just don't think it's like at least they don't have they don't have the star names that are Leonard and Fleury. The like elite players, but they're still very good.
Yep. Good.
Well,
that was good.
was,
glad the test worked out.
2 hours and 10 minutes of recording.
Yeah, it'll get trimmed down because we got some stuff, but this will probably be our longest episode if I had to take a guess. So we appreciate Gifford taking the time to be with us today, and I'm sure I'll be catching a game with him at some point. Probably meet up and check it out. Helps to have another Vegas fan around.
Yep. Always good.
So we'll catch you guys next week for some more news on the regular season. We're back, baby.
Woo!
See you next time.
You guys.
Oh, God damn it. I hate this fucking thing.